Antibiotic-resistant superbugs pose a significant threat to global health, and understanding why is crucial. These bacteria have evolved to withstand the very medications designed to eliminate them, making common infections harder to treat and increasing the risk of severe illness or even death. Each year, thousands of lives are lost due to infections that were once easily manageable. The overuse of antibiotics in medicine and agriculture has accelerated this crisis, leading to a vicious cycle of resistance. It's essential for us to be aware of this issue, as it affects not just individual health but public health as a whole. If you find this information valuable, please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell button to stay updated. Thank you for joining me today on SJtv. Infection control measures are crucial in safeguarding both patients and healthcare professionals. First, hand hygiene remains our first line of defense. Regular hand washing with soap and water or using alcohol-based hand sanitizers can significantly reduce pathogen transmission. Next, personal protective equipment, or PPE, is essential. Masks, gloves, and gowns create barriers against infections, especially in high-risk areas. Environmental cleaning is equally important. Disinfecting surfaces and equipment helps eliminate potential contaminants. Remember, proper waste disposal is vital. Biohazardous materials must be handled with care to prevent outbreaks. Lastly, vaccination is a key preventive strategy, protecting not just individuals but the community as a whole. By adhering to these measures, we can create a safer healthcare environment for everyone. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs are an urgent threat to public health. Each year, thousands die from infections that were once easily treatable. The overprescription and misuse of antibiotics in both humans and livestock have accelerated this crisis. When antibiotics are overused, bacteria evolve, developing resistance that renders our most powerful drugs ineffective. This isn't just a problem for patients, it strains healthcare systems and increases medical costs. We must advocate for responsible prescribing practices and educate patients on the importance of completing their antibiotic courses. If we don't act now, we risk returning to a time when minor infections could become deadly. The time for change is now. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs pose a significant threat to global health, primarily due to the overprescription and misuse of antibiotics. Each year, thousands of infections become harder to treat, leading to longer hospital stays and increased mortality rates. The misuse often stems from patients demanding antibiotics for viral infections, which they cannot treat. This misuse creates an environment where bacteria evolve, developing resistance. Healthcare professionals must advocate for responsible prescribing practices and educate patients about the importance of completing prescribed courses. By addressing these issues, we can combat the rise of superbugs and protect the effectiveness of antibiotics for future generations. The stakes are high, and our actions today will determine the health landscape of tomorrow.
As healthcare professionals, we stand at a critical juncture in the fight against superbugs. Traditional antibiotics are losing their effectiveness, and the rise of resistant strains poses a significant threat to patient safety. Innovative strategies are emerging, such as bacteriophage therapy, which harnesses viruses that specifically target bacteria, offering a promising alternative. Additionally, vaccines designed to combat resistant strains are being developed, aiming to prevent infections before they start. We must also explore alternative treatments, like antimicrobial peptides and immunotherapies, to bolster our arsenal. The urgency is palpable. Our approach must evolve to stay ahead of these formidable foes. The future of healthcare depends on our ability to adapt and innovate in this battle against resistance.
Antibiotic resistance is a growing threat that we cannot ignore. As healthcare providers, we play a crucial role in combating this issue. Every time we prescribe antibiotics, we must consider their long-term impact. Overuse and misuse can lead to resistant strains of bacteria, making infections harder to treat. Education is key. We need to inform our patients about the importance of taking antibiotics only when necessary and completing prescribed courses. It's not just about individual health, it's about protecting our communities. Let's advocate for responsible antibiotic use, share knowledge with our peers, and engage in discussions that promote awareness. Together, we can make a difference and ensure that antibiotics remain effective for future generations. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs pose a significant threat, particularly in agriculture. These pathogens evolve rapidly, often due to the overuse of antibiotics in livestock. When these drugs are used to promote growth or prevent disease, we inadvertently create an environment where resistance flourishes. This not only jeopardizes animal health but also impacts human health, as resistant bacteria can transfer to our food supply. The consequences are dire. Infections that were once easily treatable become deadly, leading to longer hospital stays and increased healthcare costs. As health professionals, we must advocate for responsible antibiotic use in agriculture, emphasizing the importance of sustainable practices to protect both our patients and our food systems. The fight against superbugs starts with us. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs pose a grave threat to our healthcare system. These pathogens, once easily treatable, are evolving, rendering our most effective antibiotics useless. The economic consequences are staggering. Increased hospital stays, higher treatment costs, and a surge in healthcare-associated infections strain our resources. As healthcare professionals, we must recognize that every prescription counts. Overuse and misuse of antibiotics accelerate resistance, leading to longer recovery times and more complex cases. The burden on our healthcare system is not just a clinical issue, it's an economic crisis waiting to unfold. We need to advocate for responsible prescribing practices and invest in research for new antibiotics and alternatives. The fight against superbugs is not just a medical challenge, it's a call to action for all of us. The time to act is now. Antibiotic-resistant superbugs pose a significant threat to public health, and understanding their impact is crucial for healthcare professionals. These pathogens evolve rapidly, rendering our traditional antibiotics ineffective. This resistance leads to longer hospital stays, higher medical costs, and increased mortality rates. Infections that were once easily treatable are becoming deadly, complicating surgeries and cancer treatments. The World Health Organization warns that without urgent action, we could enter a post-antibiotic era where minor infections could become life-threatening. Promoting responsible antibiotic use, investing in new drug development, and enhancing infection control measures are essential steps we must take. By addressing this challenge collaboratively, we can safeguard our healthcare systems and protect vulnerable populations from these dangerous superbugs. The alarming decline in new antibiotic development is a pressing issue in healthcare. Scientific challenges, such as the complexity of bacterial resistance mechanisms, hinder innovation. Regulatory hurdles add layers of bureaucracy, making the approval process lengthy and costly. Meanwhile, economic disincentives discourage pharmaceutical companies from investing in antibiotic research, as the return on investment is often minimal compared to chronic disease treatments. This creates a perfect storm, stalling progress in a field critical to public health. We must advocate for policy changes that incentivize antibiotic development and foster collaboration between academia and industry to overcome these challenges. The future of effective infection control depends on it. Antibiotic resistance is a fascinating yet alarming phenomenon that occurs when bacteria evolve to withstand the effects of antibiotics. This resistance can arise through several mechanisms. One key method is genetic mutation, where random changes in a bacterium's DNA can confer survival advantages. Another mechanism is horizontal gene transfer, where bacteria can share resistance genes with one another, often through plasmids. Additionally, some bacteria can produce enzymes that break down antibiotics, rendering them ineffective. The overuse and misuse of antibiotics in medicine and agriculture accelerate this process, leading to the emergence of superbugs that are difficult to treat. Understanding these mechanisms is crucial for developing new strategies to combat antibiotic resistance and ensure effective treatments for bacterial infections in the future.